Russia has struck two cities in Ukraine's west with cruise missiles, causing civilian deaths and injuries in Lutsk and Lviv.
2 years after the Taliban came to power, Afghan women say they face an uncertain future as the restrictions they're subject to grow daily.
Ukrainian forces conducted counter-offensive operations on at least two sectors of the front on the 14th of August and reportedly advanced in the Donetsk-Zaporizhia border region area, whilst Russian forces conducted offensive operations in the east, specifically near Kupiansk, and advanced on the 14th of August. Now, the Institute for the Study of War says geolocated footage published on the 13th of August indicates that Russian forces advanced near Orlyanka, this is about 22 kilometers east of Kupiansk in this area, and also near Mykolaiv, about 24 kilometers east of Kupiansk in these areas. A few days ago, Ukrainian authorities ordered mandatory evacuation for Kupiansk and its surrounding areas, the first one in months, as Russia intensified shelling on Ukraine's northeastern Kharkiv region and claimed to have captured Ukrainian positions near the city. Kupiansk lies close to the Russian border. The city fell to Moscow's forces within the first week of the full-scale invasion in February last year. It remained under Russian control for several months before a swift Ukrainian offensive liberated the city in September last year, along with a number of other settlements in this region. But in recent weeks, Russia has stepped up its efforts to capture the city for the second time. The Institute for the Study of War said earlier that Russian forces appear to be intensifying operations northeast of Kupiansk, likely to draw Ukrainian forces away from more operationally significant areas of the front.
Rooftops ablaze in Lviv in western Ukraine, civilian buildings targeted by cruise missiles as Russia struck targets across the country. 15 civilians were reported injured in Lviv, 4 of them hit in a kindergarten yard, according to the mayor. In the neighbouring region of Volyn in Lutsk, 3 civilians were killed by a Russian missile strike and others were injured. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky visited frontline troops in the Donetsk region on Monday, calling it the brigade headquarters of the Solidar formation. On the front line, Ukraine on Monday claimed some gains in the east and south, small steps forward in its grueling counter-offensive launched 2 months ago to liberate these Russian-occupied territories. Ukrainian Red Cross teams on Monday evacuated civilians living in settlements and towns close to the northeastern front line, where Russia has recently stepped up attacks amid a renewed offensive push around Kupiansk. In Moscow today, an alternative reality from the Kremlin. Addressing participants of the International Security Forum, Putin shifted the blame for what he called the ongoing conflict in Ukraine to Western countries.
К чему приводит эта политика подливания масла в огонь, хорошо видно и на примере Украины. Вкачивая в неонацистский режим миллиарды долларов, снабжая его техникой, вооружениями и боеприпасами, направляя своих военных советников и наемников, делается все, чтобы еще больше разжечь конфликт, втянуть в него другие государства.
The Minister of Defense of China, Li Shangfu, who is in Russia on a visit, spoke at the conference. Talking about conflicts, Li said it's important to communicate openly and resolve differences.
无论在阿富汗、叙利亚，还是朝鲜半岛、乌克兰、伊朗核问题上，中国都致力于劝和促谈，凝聚更多的国际共识。
China claims to be neutral in the Ukraine conflict, but has accused the US and its allies of provoking Russia and has maintained robust economic, diplomatic and trade ties with Moscow.
The airspace around Italy's Mount Etna has been reopened and the Catania airport in Sicily back in operation, 24 hours after flights were suspended following a new eruption of the volcano. It released a shower of ash that authorities say has already been dispersed. The first plane took off after the stoppage at 6:24 a.m. local time, with a slight delay, and was bound for Prague. The airport was closed due to ash falling on the runways on Sunday night, causing chaos among locals and holidaymakers.
A German government plane stuck on the tarmac at Abu Dhabi airport. The country's foreign minister, Annalena Baerbock, was left stranded in the Gulf on Tuesday after the plane suffered a technical fault. She was heading off on a week-long trip to Australia, New Zealand and Fiji when the Air Force Airbus A340 was forced to turn around after a second attempt to fly failed. The ministry says the government fleet is at the technical level of a reputable airline, but that some planes are due to be withdrawn soon.
Von den A340 kann ich Ihnen gerne mitteilen, dass ein Nutzungsdauerende für September 23 vorgesehen ist und eines für Ende 24.
It's not the first time that top German officials have been impacted by problems with government aircraft, some of which are outdated. Notably in 2018, former Chancellor Angela Merkel arrived late and on a commercial plane to a G20 summit in Argentina.
It's been 2 years since the Taliban's takeover of Afghanistan, and the fears of at least parts of the population about what the new regime would bring have been confirmed.
I would just like to know if you can share with me what are your days like in Afghanistan these days?
Well, generally, not only for me and for millions of other girls and women who are living in this country, they are living their days and they're passing their days with, I can say, with sorrow, with pain, and with lots of disappointment. Mostly for Afghan girls, they live all their days with a concern of what will happen to them in the future. So they're facing a kind of unknown future because the women are not allowed for several things, and there are restrictions, and these restrictions are getting more and more every day. For instance, first the restrictions and ban on women for not going to school, then universities, then not going to markets alone, and not traveling alone without mahram.
The multiple bans on girls' and women's education are among the most concerning measures the Taliban has imposed for their lasting effects. Over 100,000 Afghan women were enrolled in public or private universities in Afghanistan before the return of the group. Today, many have turned to online options, such as the University of the People, to attempt to continue their education.
The numbers were so big that we moved from 1,000 to 2,000. We said we are going to accommodate 2,000, and it kept growing. By now we have 21,000 Afghan women applying to study with the university. We have accepted 2,500 of them. So 2,500 women are currently studying with the University of the People, and they wish we can accommodate even more. We don't know where Afghanistan is going, and we don't know how Afghanistan will look in 5-10 years. But we, as well as our students there, believe that if there is an opportunity for a better future, we should pursue it, and we should give the opportunity to the people who want to be part of it.
The Taliban are just one among multiple obstacles Afghan women face to continue learning today. They also lack reliable internet and electricity. While the group insists it brought 40 years of conflict to an end, women in Afghanistan wonder at what cost.
It's not peaceful society. Peace does not just mean the absence of war. Peace for me, peace means that you have the right of your own soul, the right of your own choice.
Annelies Borges, Euronews.
A tag for each plant, each the name of an owner, anxious to find their home companions in good health when they come back from holidays. Often those who go on holiday are forced to leave their pets to dog sitters or even cat sitters. But for many, leaving their plants unattended for 2 or 3 weeks is difficult too.
Estate, tempo di vacanza, e per chi ha il pollice verde arriva il momento di affidare le amate piante ad amici o vicini di casa. Ma le brutte sorprese non sono rare al ritorno e quindi meglio rivolgersi a un professionista.
Enrico is a young agronomist from Bologna who turned his childhood passion into a job, and in summertime he becomes an experienced and appreciated plant sitter.
Le piante che ho qui in pensione le tratto come le altre mie, quindi do fertilizzanti specifici, do prodotti specifici, do prodotti per la difesa che sono prodotti biologici e uso anche degli insetti predatori per mangiare i più comuni parassiti delle piante.
In the holidays, Enrico's terrace and house host up to 350 plants from 50 different clients, each of them with its own tag and needs. Each plant requires a specific exposure to light, nutrients, water and pruning. Often plants that are delivered in a bad state go home completely revitalized.
Una ragazza mi portò un basilico veramente molto brutto e allora le dissi: guarda, quando le vieni a riprendere non lo riconoscerai più. Allora dopo, quando ho fatto questa prova qui, quando è venuta a riprendere, ho detto va bene, ok, ora vai a prenderti il tuo basilico, le tue piante, e non le ha riconosciute.
On average, Enrico's clients bring him about 10 plants to look after, some up to 40 or 50. Requests keep pouring in, but there is no room left this year in the 5-star hotel for plants. Next year, more room will be needed.